It's in there! Liverpool are into the 2025 Carabao Cup Final after a 4-0 smashing of Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield. And look, I could sit back here and be humble and say that I wasn't expecting to see that tonight, but I absolutely was. I knew that first leg was just one of those kind of anomalies where Spurs somehow fluke a win over us. They're not a good football team. But that is not taking away from Liverpool's performance now. I would have been absolutely shocked if we didn't go through, but we were so dominant. We were so professional in everything that we did tonight. From the first minute to the last minute of that game, there was never really any doubt of who was going to go through. I just felt it was one of those games where once Liverpool scores one, we will score more. And look, that's what happened. But I was actually surprised with how defensive Spurs set up. I know, obviously, we all know Ange for his, attacking kind of non-existent defensive philosophy. But, Spurs really parked the bus tonight, and Liverpool had to be patient, and we were. And obviously the goal didn't come till about 30 minutes in, but after that, it was just a case really of how many, and I think Spurs were lucky tonight that it wasn't 6 or 7. Really, really happy though with the performance. So many good performances all over the pitch tonight, which we are going to get into. Nothing takes away from how good this team is. Nothing takes away from how good the performance was tonight. Regardless of the opposition, let's put it that way, regardless of the opposition that you're playing against. And Slot's first chance at a trophy as Liverpool manager and his first final. Let's go. Anyway, let's get straight into Liverpool player ratings from tonight's game. Caoimhin Kelleher, I'm surprised he actually started tonight since Alisson started the first leg. But he was a pedestrian. Did Spurs have a shot on target? I don't believe that they did. I think the first time he really got his hands on the ball was sometime in the second half. And to be quite honest, he could have just not been there, and it wouldn't have made a difference whatsoever tonight. And there was that Son kind of half chance that he did really well with, to be fair to him, in the second half. Which he crashed, which he hit a great shot from his left foot, crashing off the underside of the bar that beat Kelleher. But his distribution was good, Kelleher. Apart from that, he had nothing to do in net, so I am going to say 7. Connor Bradley, he is so good. Every time he comes in, he's so good. And look, tonight was not like a huge game in regards to our entire season, but it was still a pretty big game because Liverpool obviously shouldn't be struggling to get over the line in a 2-legged tie against Spurs. And it's a chance to get to a final and ultimately have another chance at a trophy. And he was excellent. He was just so good. Defensively, this guy is ridiculous. Son, apart from that shot that he had, which I mentioned already in the second half, you genuinely wouldn't have noticed that he was in the game. Obviously, Bradley had the great pass to fashion the third goal, Szoboszlai's goal, which ultimately completely took any doubt that Liverpool were going through. And look, up and down the pitch, he was everywhere. He's just such a good footballer, and I absolutely love him. And I especially love the fact that he's Irish. Connor Bradley, 9 out of 10. Ibrahima Konate, solid performance. Again, like Kelleher, didn't have an awful lot of defending to do tonight. Spurs came out a little bit after the second goal, after Salah's penalty. Spurs came out a little bit and had a few attacks for about 10 minutes or so. Which we dealt with well, which Konate and the rest of the defence dealt with well. His distribution at times in the first half wasn't perfect, but I thought he improved in the second half. I thought his aerial prowess, as well as always, showed. Ibu, I'm going to say 7.5 out of 10. Virgil van Dijk, he just does what he wants. He's just that good. It's as simple as that. He just does what he wants. Richarlison tries to go toe-to-toe with him first 10 minutes. And Van Dijk is like, who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? 5 minutes later, after Van Dijk taking the absolute piss out of him, Richarlison goes off with an injury. But seriously, in that game, defensively, as always, superb whenever called upon, like Canade. But the header, the goal, obviously in the second half, great ball into the box and a vintage Van Dijk header from the corner. An absolutely superb performance from the captain, as always. Absolutely dominated Spurs attack, dominated the entire game. Virgil van Dijk, I'm going to say 9.5 out of 10. Andy Robertson, another very good performance. And look, I've been critical, and many other Liverpool fans have been critical of him this season. At times he has been a liability. He has looked at times a shadow of the player that he has been in the past, but I thought tonight he was very, very good again. He ran that left side with Cody Gakpo, just as he did for me against Bournemouth at the weekend. He had very few issues with Kulusevski. And I felt in the second half, kind of when Liverpool were more relaxed, obviously, with the 2-goal lead, and Spurs kind of, as I mentioned, had to come out a little bit more out of their defensive shell. You could see Robertson enjoying himself. You could see he's shown more and more quality in that time with that little bit more space that he was given. A couple of really good balls into the box. He was unlucky with the shot blocked later on. And look, very good performance, absolutely. Again, which is really, really positive from Robertson. Let's hope he keeps this up because we all love him, and we all know he's still got a lot to give. 8 out of 10. Onto the midfield, Ryan Gravenberch, another very, very solid performance. Obviously, his interception sparked the first goal. He worked tirelessly in midfield, as he always does. And he was unlucky in the second half with that shot not to get a rare goal. He had another chance of a shot in the first half that was blocked very well. But he was another player who was enjoying himself tonight. He knew he could get forward, and he knew he could potentially get in a couple of good positions to grab a rare goal for himself. This is just what we expect now from Ryan Gravenberch. He's just ridiculous. I don't think there's a better player on the ball in this team. He's strong, he's athletic. There's no midfield that he comes up against that he doesn't look good against. There's no midfield that he doesn't come up against in where he doesn't look like a fantastic footballer. Let's put it that way. That sounds better because it's true. Really good. 8 out of 10. Curtis Jones, obviously playing in a little bit of a deeper role tonight. I thought in the first half, at times wasn't great. Had good moments, but had some poor moments. A couple of stray passes, gave the ball away a couple of times. There was that pass as well just before half time to Van Dijk, where he got a little bit wrong. But ultimately, I thought it was overall a good performance. Better and kind of more comfortable in the second half. Did his job for the most. And yeah, I don't think there's really too much more to say about his performance tonight. Decent, 7 out of 10. Dominic Szoboszlai, another player who in the first half I didn't think we seen his best. Like Jones, couple of passes, not to the best of his ability. Got a couple of areas in which he could have done better in. But kind of after about, I think after Liverpool scored that goal, the first goal, obviously with Cody, Szoboszlai really kind of settled into the game, and you could see his creativity, his work ethic. He intercepted the ball on a few occasions, and it was absolutely beautiful in the second half to see him get that goal. I mean, I was just so happy for him because I think the likes of him, obviously Gravenberch, other players, they just deserve those moments so much. In terms of just how their form has been over the last while. Obviously, Gravenberch has been fantastic all season, but I think Szoboszlai, and I've said this a good few times over the last 2 or 3 months, has has had his best form since coming to Liverpool. I think he's been fantastic every game. We've seen even in the first leg against these, obviously having Szoboszlai back tonight, just how important he is to this team. not just going forward. He was obviously leading the press going forward. In the second half, he was at the centre of everything Liverpool did well. But not just that, it's just the work he does off the ball. It's the interceptions, as I mentioned. It's the running. It's everything. He's a fantastic player, and he's only going to get better in a Liverpool shirt. 8.5 out of 10. Mohamed Salah, first 15 to 25 minutes. He didn't quite have it. He was getting on the ball a lot, but his passing wasn't there. Really, that kind of final touch, that final kind of finish wasn't there. But what does he do then? Just shows his quality. 30 minutes in, beautiful pass into a really dangerous area in the box, goes to the back post, and Gakpo finishes it superbly. And from there, Spurs just couldn't handle him. It's really as simple as that. Second half, gets the penalty. Absolutely world-class penalty off the left into the top left corner, sending Kinski the wrong way. Also the shot in the first half that was very unlucky was touched onto the crossbar from Kinski, but he was excellent. As I said, apart from that kind of first 20 or so minutes where it wasn't quite there, even then he wasn't bad, but after that he was one of the best players on the pitch. Salah, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Cody Gakpo, another fantastic performance off the left. He's just so good, man. He's so good. The more I see him this season, the more I feel bad for actually criticising him last season. Look, a lot of Liverpool fans would have done, and even if you look at the likes of what Carragher and other people like that said about Cody Gakpo last season. But look, in our defence, we weren't to know that he was playing in the wrong position, or he was getting played in the wrong position. Off the left this season, he's been unbelievable. That's 10 goals now in 10 appearances at Anfield. 10 goals in his last 10 appearances at Anfield. Absolutely unbelievable. I seen somebody call him Carabao Cup Cody. I love that. And obviously he's not just good at the Carabao Cup. He's been unbelievable in the Premier League, the Champions League, and everything this season. But his form in this cup has been incredible. Created chances in the first half. I love his work ethic. He's got so much quality, but he always gives absolutely every single thing he's got to give. That chance for Nunez that he did really well to dig out in the first half. He took his goal expertly, and it wasn't an easy finish that first time off the right foot for that very important first goal. In the second half, he just continued. Hit the post, very unlucky not to get a second. Got Liverpool in some really good positions, made some more decent chances. He always seems to know what to do the vast majority of the time with the ball at his feet as well. He's a great footballer, and I'm so happy he's at Liverpool Football Club. Cody Gakpo, 9 out of 10. Darwin Nunez, he didn't score tonight, but honestly, a really good performance. Genuinely a really good performance. I thought his link-up play tonight was really, really good. He held up the ball well for Liverpool, especially in kind of compacted areas with a lot of Spurs players around. He won the penalty for that all-important second goal, made a good run, was quick enough to get to the ball just before Kinski and win that penalty off the pass from Salah. And look, I thought he was really good tonight. One thing I would have said, and this obviously is not a criticism of Nunez, it's probably more of Gakpo. Gakpo probably should have passed the ball across to Nunez for that chance he hit the post with in the second half, and Nunez would have more than deserved his goal. But you also get it from Gakpo's point of view, the form that he's on, that he goes for goal in a moment like that. But really, really good, honestly, from Nunez. He worked tirelessly out there, and there was plenty of quality in his performance to go with it. I'm going to say Nunez gets an 8 out of 10. On to the subs. First up, Diogo Jota came on, did well, got in some very good positions as always. Unlucky not to get a goal. Had a shot blocked that just went wide out for a corner. I was very surprised he didn't score from the set piece. Great cross in. Was it from Robertson? And it was Jota on about the 6-yard box, and he headed it wide. Just couldn't kind of get the power behind it to head it straight past the goalkeeper. Just kind of got it wrong a little bit, but yeah, decent when he came on. 7. Alexis McAllister. So good. So good. Like, I mean, slot masterclass, by the way. Having Alexis on the bench and then bringing him on, a player of his quality with 20 minutes left when you're just looking to fully just put the game to absolutely no doubt. I mean, comes on, brilliant. Massive hand in the third goal. Great corner. The best corner of the night for the fourth goal. He's just got so much quality. And to be able to bring on subs like him is, I think, just shows just how good our squad is. Alexis gets an 8.5. Finally, the last 3 subs who didn't play very much. Harvey Elliott had a couple of touches, got into a couple of decent positions. There was one time there towards the end of the game where he probably should have done a little bit better in a good position, but 6, I will say. Luis Diaz, like Elliott, ran around, got into a couple of decent areas. Liverpool probably should have scored a 5th goal. I mean, as I said previously, Spurs were lucky it wasn't 6 or 7, but yeah, I'll say 6 as well. And finally, Gerald Kwanzaa came on, with a couple of minutes left. Didn't really have anything to do. 6. And the manager, Arne Slot. As I said earlier on, his first chance at a trophy as Liverpool manager. And his first final. What a man. What a guy. What a manager. Look, he got it absolutely spot on tonight. Yet again. I mean, his team was brilliant. Bringing in Nunez was certainly a masterstroke. I thought Nunez was excellent tonight and he was perfectly suited for that game. His subs tonight, as I mentioned, with McAllister, again, excellent. And just the way he manages, each player, like, especially their minutes. Like, say, for example, he knew with Alisson, there was no need to play him in tonight's game because he knew, obviously, Spurs were going to set up his defences as they were. And you never know with Alisson because for a goalkeeper, he can be quite injury prone and he plays Kelleher. So, I mean, look, Slot, as per usual, got absolutely everything perfect tonight. 10 out of 10 for the manager. Anyway, that is my Liverpool player ratings for tonight's excellent 4-0 win over Spurs. We are off to Wembley. And it's Newcastle in the final. We'll think about that when it comes. It's going to be a good final though. Big respect for Newcastle. Next up we have Plymouth and we have the big derby away at Goodison Park next week. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you enjoyed, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Road to 10k and all that. And yeah, up the Reds. I'll see you in the next one.